And this is redstone computer. Anyone who's here, it's just a computer with stupidly large amount of redstones. Don't worry, it's going to be easy. But some of the parts are complicated. That's why I will help you. So that's our computer. Have you ever heard of that? This lever has a flashlight. If I pull this lever out, it turns off. When I pull this lever, it should repeat. Look, there's a few moments. That's a unique thing of computer. And also, this one, if you turn off this, it also turns off. And you turn on this, it does do it once. If you flick this lever again, it turn off it again. So, how about this? If I turn this on, this thing is the boring thing. You might see the piston right over there. If I turn this off, it turns off. Okay, viewers, are you confused? Comment if you're confused because I will let you help you more. Let's start a tutorial. Hello, and I am here. All you need is redstone torch, redstone block, sticky piston, observers, redstone repeaters, redstone comparator, any block you want except with powders and sand. I prefer yellow concrete, and last but not least, glass. And we forgot something. What are we gonna use later is we are going to get redstone lamp. We're gonna use the pistons later. You see, guys, if you have a redstone lamp, I forgot the lever. If you have a redstone lamp, you might know that a lever might turn that on when you flick the lever. But when I put a block here, it doesn't. So if I put it there, it also lights up. Now we're getting interest. So if we have a sticky piston and a redstone on there, it should not work. So if you push the piston, then pull it back, it doesn't work. But if you put another piston there, then put the lever there, you might see it should turn on. So let's remove the lever and put it back. If you flick this lever, it just only doesn't light up the redstone lamp. So when you pull this one, it should turn on. But what are we going to learn? We're gonna have observers. What do you mean about observers? So when you put a block on an observer, it turns on and turns off very quickly. Because if you make sound at the back, it should turn on. But if you make sound at here, it doesn't. Because this two of these is not just a face, but also a detect what's the sound nearby of it. So when I put the lever there, then turn that on, it only flicks very fast. This is good for making something like this. Not at the back, but if you use this, that will turn on. You see, if you flick the lever, the observer will flick it very fast to turn on the lamp and turn it back on very quickly. Watch this. That's how it works. And if I flick the lever again, it turns off. Now let's make a 4x2 redstone lamp. So when you use observers, you might know that if you put these redstones here, hook up all these things, then use this what they called yellow concrete, then put it right over here, not like that, like this, like that. Then if you break the block, it does turn on. And how does it work? Once you put this yellow concrete here, when I put this on, only some of them is on. So how to turn it all on of them? By first making a 2x2. That's a good idea. Then put this here, and still doesn't work. And the only way to do it is to put redstones here. Then to put it there, it can turn on. But since we don't like redstone up on here, we're gonna have repeaters. Once you have a repeater, you might know that if you use a repeater, you might extend your redstone, but takes longer to do it. If you hook it one time, you might know the difference. So if I hook it 3 times, it should do like that. This is also good for making decorations like this. And look at this. So when I flick the lever, it does do like that. So if I turn that off, it doesn't work. So the only way to do it is to use an observer. So once I flick this on, it should do it. But I don't like observers beside the screen, so I prefer this. Turn that off, and that doesn't turn off. So what happens if we put a repeater on there, then put redstones, then it doesn't even turn off. So here is it. So if you put the piston, then have a redstone block. If you turn on it, then turn that back on. I don't know what is it doing, so it still doesn't even work. So how to do it? So first, you check the redstones. The next, use the lever. Then if it turns on, then turns it off. It's working. But I don't like something like this. I don't want to go this fast. Then also, we can also make this. Not yet. So when you use observers, you don't know that if you put observers and put observers together, that thing will start a redstone detecting it, then putting another redstone there, making it to repeat it endlessly. Look at the piston does. So that's how it does. So we can also put pistons on observers. So if you put this thing here, so what you doesn't know that if you put a sticky piston on observer, it should repeat it. But if you flick the lever again, it has the result. We can also make it without having it. If you put redstone dust here, then use the lever, flick it fast. It should not do anything. But if you do this, so what happens when I flick this fast? So it doesn't even flick. So when it does the repetition, you can also use a repeater to do it, then put that off and it should repeat, making the time slower. But how can we stop it? And that thing, it's very impossible to stop. So when you, for example, if you put this, trying decorations, excuse me, Mr. Cow, we might have a literal result of this thingy. And I hate it so much that it completely sucks. So that's why we are going to talk about redstone torch on my observer and my redstone block of redstone. So if you use redstone torch, it should light up redstone. But if there's a redstone underneath the redstone torch, it will turn off. So this is also good to making piston doors to this, like that. Use a lever there, right over here, it should turn off. To make this really balanced, we use an observer here, then use another observer there, then make a redstone dust over here. Now our need is this, and this, and this. Then we need a 3x3 redstone lamp, because once you turn on this, it does nothing. But after the fixing, it does nothing. So when you use this, you don't know that observers doesn't work properly. So if you do that to the third, it does nothing. So when I flick a lever, it just turns off. And what we're gonna go talk about, it's going to build a lever. Here is a simple redstone. When I flick the lever, okay, it does repeat. So when I connect the redstone, it do make something. So when I put these repeaters, this is my literal result. And we're having a light source. There's always flicks after flicks. And you are confused, how does this work? So how does it work? So when I put this down, this lever, it keeps on continuing. and how to literally stop this. First, you need at least a redstone. So this got a little bit more noisier. Then our only choice is redstone. So if you put this here, if you stop the redstone. So once the redstone stops, it too stops that. So we can also make a tower out of this. So like this. So this thing, if we have a redstone piston, all of this piston has to do like a redstone repeater. To do that, then the observers comes to the redstone, then goes back to the cycle. To stop this cycle, here's a redstone block. If you don't like it, we can also modify it. If you don't like this, then put that and have a redstone block over there to stop the redstone. And if you flick the lever again, it too repeats the cycle. But if you use it again, it too stops. So if that stops, the redstone computer doesn't work. So how does the computer work? So once I flick this lever out, it starts the computer. Then if I flick the lever again, it's the last one, then done. When we also know how to make a flashlight. So everyone already got confused. How does a flashlight being made? So firstly, put the redstone block over down here. Then make another redstone here. Then put the lever, not the repeater. Put the lever there. Then put the redstone down there. You might know that the redstone also connects even if it's not contact with the lever. So we can also make the computers also has a flashlight like computers cannot. So by making staircase down like this one, it do work. So here's an example of this. And we have an example of this. The magic doesn't work, so we have this magic of the computer like this. So once this lever is on, it should start a redstone contraption that actually makes a flashlight. So if you flick the lever again, it turns off the flashlight. We all know that if you have repeaters, over the second repeater and the first repeater has a redstone. Beside the redstone, it do get connected. But if you put a repeater here, the redstone doesn't get connected. So if you add a repeater there just to not get connected by the redstone contraption. Then keep doing this, and if we reach it here, we might see the result of a computer that looks like this. And who really knows that computer that is like this? So how does it work? IGTV, it's impossible. You just secretly use a command block. Really, no. So once you flick the lever, you might see redstones going down here. So when it goes over here, It just use the redstones and also make a repeater just to not get connected. Then once it goes here, it makes a loop-de-loop, and you can also make a redstone over here. So once ever make with there, we can fully make a flashlight of this. Because redstone's contraption have a secret technique like this. For example, if you use a lever, it do switch. But if you only use repeaters like this, once I flick the lever, it do work. But I don't like repeaters. Because if you use redstone contraption, because repeaters are very tiring to use them, because you need to click on them and what delay you want to do it. And redstone, it's redstone contraption, but if you turn all of it, you might have this. So that's why I use redstone contraptions, because it looks better. And it literally doesn't do anything, and you all can be lazy just watching the flashlight. Next is repeat. So next is repeat. Agimili vlog, it's very hard to do repeat. We already have repeat. Come on, just use commands just to repeat. Are you sure? Because what I really told you, that if you have this, then have this and that, you might connect the redstone observer. Very cool, right? Not really cool anymore, because same to this, if we use levers, we might do success. And here is an example of a repeat. There you go. We have a redstone computer. We're going to turn it on. It doesn't even work that much because it's too small. So when I turn it off, it does turn off. So if you want further tutorials here, make sure to subscribe, because our next tutorial is reaching up to 50 subscribers. Good luck. And also, we can also have a tour to our redstone computer so you can learn more. And here it is. Here it goes. This is the player's table. It's like an L shape. And this is a redstone. The redstone. This is the wiring. This part is the monitor, but this one is a broken one. And the wiring that goes to the computers from here, all the way from here, was the monitor. That's the cube. Then our inner part of the cube is, if we go inside here, we are this part, are you looking, is the CPU. All of it is with the CPU. That's all the CPU there. And this one is the ALU, connecting to smaller details to computers. I was connecting of these, and this one is call and return, right over here what you're looking at. And this is the GPU, right over what you're looking at the center. right here. Looking at the center, and that's just the GPU. Then we also have the screens, which is the easiest one to make. But it's hard to make all of these things. I have call in return. This is the smallest one. Is call in return. The delay that is right over here. It should stop the delay, then stop right over there. And this is a computer. And this is the easiest one to make. You can try by yourselves. Because if I turn this on, let's see what happens to the screen. Let's go quick. Ooh, that's the screen. So we need to know that if you flick the lever, go fast. I heard a piston. So when I go at the highest speed I can go. Oh, I saw a piston right here. That makes it the server and goes there once. Next is flashlight. So where does flashlight go? So flashlight goes there, all the way from there. Oh, the flashlight also goes from there. This one is very simple because if you go here, you go right here. This is where the flashlight is. If you go to the flashlight, you go to see encountering something weird. That's the flashlight. So when you use the flashlight, I might go here, all the way there. Don't lose track. I go there. Then I go to the repeater. I saw a contraption all the way there. Downwards. When I open that redstone, it do that, then all the way there, then goes to the screen from here. This has sometimes 7 FPS and sometimes 2 and sometimes 1. So let's see what's the screen happens. Ooh, it's satisfying. But let's see what happens when we go there. Ooh, I saw a piston. It does go there. It's a good sign that no villagers are allowed to go to the monitor. Next, if I put this down, I saw piston again. It does turn off. Next is repeated slowly. So when I go here, this one is the most complicated of all because you might go here and goes there, all the way there. And also, you might also encounter these things right here. This is gonna be a huge disaster. I already know how to fix it. I already do fix it. When I go on the other side, I go there. That does this pistons right over here, doing the good delay. And this repeats very slowly. So when I stop this, it do that for a little bit, then stops. But how about repeat? Because since this computer is the bad quality of 1 bit and it's very slow, luckily it has a 64-byte CPU and it fits 64 letters, and the GPU has a 12-byte. Because once we don't have a call and return, it should not work properly. So next is repeated it fast, but it's so boring. Look at the screen. Look at the screen. And look at this. It's a lot of codes. Others and me think this is might a binary code, and this one also has a binary code for having that. So next we're going to have the fun part. That's a redstone piston right over here, doing the repeat fastly, then goes over here. and the redstone. And you might look at this at 175 subscribers, and you now need to subscribe.